Hello everybody, my name's James. Welcome to the Planet FPL Gameweek 12 Deadline stream. And it's live, no curtains, which means I'm not looking after the little man today, unfortunately. And no blue wall, which means I'm not at home either. Actually, no, I'm still in the office and decided to do it from here this week. Right, before I get into your questions, and I'll try and answer as many of them as I can over the next 56 minutes or so ahead of the 6 p.m. UK time game week 12 deadline. Let me take you through what's on the graphics. Top right hand corner of the screen, you will see my team as it stands, and it won't be changing. -4 taken, Mo Salah and Wilfried Zaha in for a -4. I line up with Pope, Doherty, Trippier, Gay, Emerson, Bowen, Salah captain, Andreas Pereira, Wilfried Zaha, Solanke and Mitrovic. Below that, you'll see my top 10 captaincy picks in order of preference this week. Mo Salah is the standout. The honest truth is, I wasn't going to buy him. I was going to captain James Maddison this week. That had been my intention and my plan. There's nothing else in my team that I wanted to captain, and therefore I have fallen and bought Mo Salah. But I think if you're not on Salah, wide open. Even down to the likes of Solanke and Zaha, absolutely fine. Trossard, the Spurs boys, the Newcastle boys. Mason Mount, I would have higher, but I've got doubts whether he starts for Chelsea personally. You'll also see to the left of me the countdown clock to deadline and the predictions for the 9 games taking place in Game Week 12. Obviously, Arsenal and Manchester City do not have a fixture. Right at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the ticker going across the bottom on the grey bar. That's the next 5 fixtures for all 20 clubs, which is obviously the 5 fixtures now taking us up to the World Cup. And below that, you'll see the benching dilemmas. And I wasn't going to take you through the benching dilemmas screen this week because I thought, James, you're taking the piss. Who's got benching dilemmas problem? And there's 2 things I thought. One, there are people on free hits and there are people on wildcards, and they may be interested in the benching dilemmas. And 2, I figured I'd get loads of repetitive fucking questions this week anyway, so I might as well waste some time. Page 1 of the benching dilemmas. Perisic over Castagna. Player with a tick is the player that I would prefer you to start. Castagna over Pereira. Pereira over Billing. Billing over Bailey. Billing over Bailey because I don't think we can be certain that Bailey starts. Page 2. Bailey over Justin. Over Eze. Over Gibbs-White. Over Brennan Johnson. Page 3. Johnson over Dallo. Over Dyer. Over Robinson. Over Kilman. Page 4. Kilman over Mings. Over Cody. Over Nico Williams. Over Emerson. And finally, page 5. This might interest you. The goalkeepers, Gator over Kepa, Kepa over Danny Ward, Ward over Raya, Raya over Pickford. That will continue to rotate during the course of the stream. If you're in and you're just joining in, welcome, smash a like, hit the sub button, let's go. Philip Sukta says, hi James, thanks for the great content. Looking for a cheap defender to replace Fofana. Would you go Dunk, Castagna or someone else? Have Cancelo, Trips, Doherty and Nico Williams otherwise. I think I'd rather you went Dunk. I think that defensive prospects better this week than Castagna. Obviously doesn't have the quite the same attacking potential. But Leicester's fixtures coming up. You've got 3 away games and Man City at home. Whereas I think although Dunk's got Man City and Chelsea, if you come into problems, you'd be happy to use Dunk against Wolves and Villa in the last 2. So preference would be Lewis Dunk. Justin Dyer says, good day James, hope all is well. Good luck this game week. Curious on who you would go for with 2 free transfers. Thinking either Salah, Mitrovic or Kane / midfielder. If I go Kane, I have 8.8 in the bank using wildcard in 13. Safe travels to Old Trafford. You got 2 free transfers and get Mo in, mate. Honestly, yeah, sorry, dull as dishwater, I know, but yeah, I'd get it done. Yes, very looking forward to my trip to Old Trafford tomorrow. Stefan B says, hi, would you buy a Trent or go for a cheaper defender to enable both Foden and Saka or other upgrades in the future? I really like the idea of not just Trent but Robertson and also Virgil van Dijk actually, and that's irrespective of what happened against Manchester City at the weekend. It's just the differential power of them, knowing that most people are obviously going to go without. So I like that, but probably Stefan, you're probably in a similar position to me where I really wanted Foden and Saka. The transfers I've made now, part of the sacrifice why I didn't want to go Mo Salah was exactly that. I wanted those 2 players to go with Bowen, Maddison. That's what I was looking to do, and Martinelli. So I wanted a midfield 5 that was going to be Bowen, Maddison, probably getting rid of Maddison in 13 for one of Saka, Foden. So Bowen and Saka, Foden plus Martinelli. That's what I went to do with the midfield and have Andreas, or get it up to another one like Wilfried Zaha and bring Solanke down to a 4.3 maybe. So I think it depends on your preference. Look, we can't guarantee Trent's going to play tomorrow night. Klopp didn't even speak about him in the TV press conference today. There might be something more in the written tonight, which will be after deadline. It's not going to help anyone. It might just be better just to hold your horses and not rush towards Trent. But obviously, look, you're not buying Foden or Saka today. So if you're going to buy one of the three, it's Trent, isn't it? DC says, do you think Emerson Palmieri to Trent from -4 is worth it? No. I can't do that. I don't have enough in the bank. I could take a -4 to go to Van Dijk, who I know definitely plays. Decided not to. My thought process on Emerson is, I'm not sure if he starts. At the moment, I think he probably does. My expectation would be a 1 point. If he's a substitute, my expectation would be 1 point. So what difference does it make? I would need to remove him now for the -4. I would need whoever comes in to keep a clean sheet. And I've just not got enough faith, to be honest, in anything that I think's worth the -4 this week. I'm going to take a hit for another Palace defender or a third Newcastle. I don't want a third Newcastle when they're going to Tottenham at the weekend. So I didn't deem that there was anything there justifiable. Honestly, if I could have afforded to get to Trent, I wouldn't have taken a hit either. No, I think I'd rather take hits with a bit more information than a non-midweek set of fixtures. We're going to have rotation this week as well. So there's no way of knowing if you could take the -4, and you know how this game works, right? Liverpool-West Ham finishes 0-0. Emerson starts. He gets a 9-pointer. I'm sure that probably won't happen. And Trent comes on for a 1-pointer and you're sick, aren't you? So I think hits for defenders generally not advisable unless you know factually that it's fixing a long-term problem. The other thing is, what if West Ham play well and they decide to stick with a back three? I might want to start Emerson against Bournemouth next week. Hollis Stammer says, good luck in our Patreon Champions League match this game week. Have we got each other first game? Nice one, mate. Good luck. Harry22 says, hi, mate. What mid-price striker do you think will score the most points until the break? Currently have Tony and Mitrovic on wildcard. From now until the break, probably Tony at this minute. I'd certainly put Skamaka into that conversation now as well. He's right on my radar potentially for this week. But from this point, probably Tony. Joe Knight says, top 5 assets you'd have on your free hit. If I was free hitting, I'd go Salah, Trent, Robertson, personally. Yeah. Go back to it, and then if you hate it, then fine, you haven't got it. So Salah, I'd have to go in Trent. I think Wilson and Trippier would be the other two. So there's your 5. Andrew Grondin says, hey James, benching dilemma, Doherty versus Almiron. I mean, wow, to be blessed in that position. I'd play Almiron this week, yeah. I think because of the fixtures. I wouldn't say that often, I don't think, but I think because of the fixtures this week, that's more than reasonable. Praise says Trossard or Zaha. I've bought Zaha. Didn't want to, if I bought Trossard, and I do fancy Trossard more than Zaha this week, as shown by the captaincy picks, but I didn't want to look at Trossard versus Man City and Chelsea if I came into problems. That was all. Joe Knight says, start Gay or Dunk. Well, as I've predicted a Palace clean sheet and not a Brighton one, then Gay has to be what I'd say. But I think I'm probably in the minority in predicting Forest to score. So personal preference, what it should come down to. If it was me, yeah, Gay, I think Wolves have got the weakest attack in the league at the moment, to be honest. Bertica says, hey James, one transfer to get 11 out this week. Would you replace Martial with Mitrovic or have a 1 week punt by changing Maddison to Trossard? Or should I just make both moves for a -4? I think that's one where I'd say, yeah, look, make your move. Martial is he's out. He's the late word that we've got from Eric Ten Hag. And then it's Chelsea away at the weekend. So you've got Mitrovic, Villa and Leeds. So I think just on the face of it, I'd be like, yep, take that. Trossard for Maddison, less so. But yeah, I think arguably I'd pull the hit. The hits are okay. Think of it like this. You've got 9 players, you take a -4. Particularly if it's 2 attacking players. Not so much for a defensive player, but if it's 2 attacking players, in theory, you should at least end up back at 0 with the appearance points, right? In terms of you should get 4 points from your 2 players if they start. Of course, they can get booked. They could get sent off. But in theory, you should get it back. And I think in the case of Mitrovic over Martial, that's clear that you'd want to do that now, in my opinion. So yeah, I'd probably do both. Drew Howard says, hi James, looking for a replacement for Jesus up until the World Cup. Mitrovic, Wilson and Darwin Núñez are my primary targets. I think Mitrovic for free. And then you could look at, this is an interesting little idea. You go Mitrovic for free. Villa at home, Leeds away, Everton at home. Go to Schumacher for the last 2. And then you got Palace at home, Leicester at home. You get 4 home fixtures out of 5 there. So Mitrovic would be the favoured one. Wilson is less appealing because Tottenham away at the weekend, which of course he can return. I always say that about Wilson. He's not the sort of player I'd ever want to leave out because I think his team could get beat and he'll still get the goal. But he doesn't appeal because of that at the weekend. So I think Mitrovic would be the preference for me. On Darwin, I'm not certain he even starts, to be honest. And if he does start tomorrow, then I'd have the same doubts about Saturday. If Salah's going to play through the middle, and we don't know that's going to stay that way, but if he is, I don't see Salah and Núñez together, personally. I think Firmino would work that space so much better for Salah. Could they play right up top together? Yes, they could, but then I think you need to play a flatter midfield 4. I'm not certain on it. So Núñez, I was quite high on last week. I've gone cold on a bit, to be honest. Ayab says, De Zerbi said that Lallana will play this game. Which do you think Gross will make way, or he will change formation and bench one of the wing backs? Thanks, James. Well, he played a back 4 on Friday night anyway, so I think he'll play a back 4 again. I think in the predicted lineup I've just done for patrons, Gross is the one I think will miss out, yeah. Steve says, hey James, wildcard next week. And to be honest, even if he'd not come out and said that, that's a sort of change of the predicted anyway. Gross was the one who was really, really quiet, I thought, on Friday night. Steve says, hey James, wildcard next week. Alisson in for Ederson or Johnson of Nottingham Forest to Wilson or Firmino and play Ward in goal. Thanks and good luck this week. So we're looking for 1 week punts. Alisson in for Ederson or Johnson to, I think, move Johnson, mate. Move Johnson, play Ward in goal. I think that's your one, mate. Praise says, is it worth taking a -4 to bring in defender? And if yes, who? I'm going to say no. I think there are times where it is. Like if generally you had a problem, say you're still sitting there with Reece James and you knew Trent was going to play, that's the sort of one I'd think, yeah, get it done. So I think if you're in that position, if you're sitting there with Reece James who's not going to play for weeks, yeah, fine, bin him, get it done. Do what you got to do, fix your team. But if you're moving, like what I said, the likes of an Emerson or something, or you've got a player who's back next week, you've got to get the return now, haven't you? So, no, there's nothing I think that's obvious enough that I think's worth it. JP says, -8 for KDB, Maddison, Emerson out to Salah, Trossard, Anderson, worth it. Similarly, again, is Emerson to Anderson really necessary? What's your expectation on Anderson? 6, Emerson 1. Okay, fine. So 1 point up after the hit. Is it worth it? Maddison to Trossard, as debated earlier, I think that's borderline. KDB to Salah, yeah, fine, straightforward. FPL Finding Glory, hello, great content as always. Best player per position this game week. I'm bringing in a defender, a midfielder and a striker. Budget no issue. Cheers and good luck, Coys. Who Spurs? Best player per position in the game this week. Goalkeeper, I think Gator. Probably. I think he starts. To be honest, he played well again at the weekend. There's no reason for him not to start. Sam Johnson keeps lurking and bothering me. But I think, yeah, fine. Defender, I'm going to say... even though I've not backed him for a clean sheet, I think... Well, to be honest, Trippier. But I'm going to guess you might already have him. So I'm going to say Virgil van Dijk. Midfield... They ain't great. They're not great options. And we've gone for a position last week. We wanted 5 midfielders. And looking at buying Maddison replacements this week, it's like, oh, it's nothing I'd over fancy there. I think if money is no object, literally, go Sonny, to be honest. And up front, obviously, if you haven't got Salah, if you haven't got Salah, obviously Salah, then Sonny. Up front, Harry or Callum Wilson. Sheree MC says, Robertson worth free transfer from Saliba and then play 10. Yeah, I think that's okay. Remember, Saliba's on 4 yellows as well, right? So you might be holding him for, I've got Nottingham Forest at home in 2 weeks. He might get put to Southampton at the weekend. So I don't mind that, actually. Alistair Coper says, hey, mate, would you rather have Trent and Zaha from 13? Also, just to come back to Cherie's question, sorry. You can, obviously, if you want to go back to Arsenal, you can go back to White. Or even if Tomiyasu stays in the team, he's 4.2. So you can go back. Sorry, Alistair. Hey, mate, would you rather have Trent and Zaha from 13 till the wild card, or Robertson and Foden? If I go Trent this week, then it blocks me off having Foden. Cheers. I'd rather have Foden. Me buying Wilfried Zaha this week is reluctant because I don't like the options, but I do love his fixtures. What I've seen with the eye, I've not been impressed at all recently. And it's not him, it's the system. The system's doing him no favours. That said, they could change it up again and then suddenly he's in again. JP says, Doherty to surely be in the starting 11 from now on. What, because he had a brilliant performance? In fact, he didn't even have a brilliant performance because he played well against Everton at home. I spoke about this on the podcast yesterday, and I'm sure Doherty starts tomorrow. Emerson Royal's back from suspension on Sunday, and then we play Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday. But you think like Doherty's playing all 4 of them. And it might be Doherty plays the league games and Emerson plays in the Champions League. That's genuinely possible. You never know your luck. But the idea that like Emerson Royal has been jettisoned, nah. Listen, after Emerson's red card, he still played both Champions League games. So I really wouldn't be thinking that at all. The time to buy Doherty was last week, not this week. Sage says, have Nico and Emerson, would you take a -4 to get rid of either Anderson or Gayey? Have Nico and Emerson? No. No, it's covered. There's going to be repetitive, guys. -4s for defenders is just going to be no, so you might as well delete them from the questions, to be honest. Static says, hi, James. Hope you and the family are well. Kane and Almiron question, or Wilson and Nunes and Trossard? Or Wilson/Nunes and Trossard. This week only, wildcard 13. This week only, Wilson and Trossard from that. Ishan says TAA for Ben White from -4. Want an Arsenal defender for game week 13 onwards. Keep Ben White then, mate. Joe Knight says Son and Kane in free hit, or one of them plus Darwin, Sterling, Mount. Son and Kane. Son plus Kane in free hit, or one of them plus Darwin, Sterling, Mount. No, I'd go Sonny and Kane, honestly. Yeah, if I was on a free hit, money's no problem this week. I'd go both. It's the potential of them. It's great, not a great fixture. This is part of the reason for not wanting a free hit this week. Oh, I can afford them, I get them in. It's not great though, is it? Vic says, hi James, should Iwobi be the first name on my game week 13 wildcard? I don't know, mate. Ask my Everton correspondent, Sean Norton. Meninda Prihar says, what do you think of a -8 in 13 to bring in Cancelo, Foden and Saka? Also, who best to make way for Cancelo between Saliba, Perisic? Affects all my decisions today. Cheers. That in theory, yeah, great one. Do you need to take a -8? I can't answer your question when I don't know who you're selling either. So, I mean, what are you selling? It's really important, isn't it? I can't say yes when I don't know what you're selling. You might be selling good players. You need all of them guys, I think, to go off. Why can't you just buy Cancelo and Foden this week and Saka the following week, for example, or vice versa? I can't really answer that, mate. Ravi Dewan says, hi, James. I'm wildcarding in 13. I've already taken -4 for Salah and Mount, for KDB and Maddison. Thoughts on a further points hit to replace Jesus with Wilson Firmino? This gives me a full 11. I think Jesus was expendable anyway, because of value and stuff. But this weekend, you'd rather look at Jesus than Wilson, wouldn't you? So therefore, I think whoever you get in would have to score. I would fancy Callum Wilson to score. Is he worth a -4? I'm not sure. I think the answer there probably lies in, do you want Jesus for the last 4 fixtures? If you do, the answer is no. If you're not bothered, fine, do it. Louis Patel says, Perisic and Emerson, Duncan Gay for -8. No. Ben Murphy says, all right, James, best defender for a 1-week punt before wildcard. Already have Trippier. Money not an issue. Robertson or Van Dijk, I think. Zaris says, I have 10 starters, but I already used 2 free transfers. Is it ideal to buy Robertson, or you think he's a minute's risk? Greetings from Greece, my friend. My instinct would be that Robertson plays tonight, but might not play at Forest. That would be my instinct. Not tonight, sorry, tomorrow night. That would be my instinct. I wouldn't be certain he starts both these 2 games, and that's off-putting. Whereas Big Virgil will play both, won't he? So it's such a short period where arguably you want the assuredness at this stage, and therefore arguably the correct thing for me to say is Van Dijk. But is he worth a hit? No. Chris Hughes says, hello James, thanks for the content and insight. If you had free hit this week, fires everywhere and loads of Arsenal City, what would your team be? It would be Pope, Trippier, Wilson, Kane and Son, Van Dijk, Robertson, Salah, Trossard. Who else did I pick? It probably was Zaha, and I think that's it. And Mitrovic. Ben Murphy says, all right, James, best defender for 1 week punt. That's what we've done. Hordafay says, good evening. 1 free transfer, I'm willing to take a hit. Would you do Maddison and Bernardo to Zaha and Carvalho, or Carvalho and Sinistero? I don't mind Carvalho as a shout, but I think you need to know what the impact is with Darwin Núñez tomorrow night first. So it'd be a no for me. Elliott's a safer way to go, but less likely of attacking returns. I've got Carvalho in my predicted Liverpool team tomorrow night, but I wouldn't go there. I'd rather go Sinistero. Leeds got a decent couple, Leicester away, Fulham at home, and you can move it on to something else if you want. So Carvalho and no. Arguably with that, I would... Do you want to keep Bernardo? I'd arguably just move one of them, Sinistero, I think. Paul Woodhead says, thoughts on Joe Gomez? Gomez is a Sky asset. He seems tempting at 7.8. Yeah, but in Sky, even more so than FPL, you want to know he's going to play. Klopp said today that Konate was about 10 days away. Matip a little longer. So remember, they've got Champions League games as well, and still got a little bit of work to do. Obviously, if they get the result in Amsterdam, then they're through. But if they don't, it puts possibly a little bit of pressure on their last game. So these guys are going to get a look in somewhere. It's a no for me for now. Esh and Gosh says, hi James, wildcard in 13, so I have 1 free transfer to punt tonight. Can get to Zaha from Maddison, but can also get to Robertson from Reece James, which I'd go Robertson from that. Reece James got to go one way or the other anyway. FPL Najib says, should sell Zuma for a hit? If yes, to who? I have Trip, Dunk and N Williams in my team, or should I play with 10? Play with 10, mate, please. Play with 10. I think Zuma will play anyway. Kartik Rao, best Martial replacement? Anyone. We've discussed this idea of Mitrovic for free, then Sinistero if you don't own. I think Callum Wilson, obviously, if you don't own. Solanke, I think the moment's gone. Personally, still good fixture this week. But I think the moment's probably gone for him. So Mitrovic, and I'd like Scamacca from this coming week or 2 weeks' time. Mitrovic to Scamacca's a nice... I can see that move being popular in 15. Big Geek says, hi James, considering to move Cancelo to Trent with week and bench Bailey, or roll transfer and field 11. Also just went to Chicken, great food. Oh, you went to Chicken? Banging, mate. It's just made me really hungry. No, I wouldn't sell Cancelo, mate. Away Safdar says, hi James, hope you've had a good day. Is Maddison and Kane out for Salah and Firmino using 2 free transfers? A good move. Cheers. Yeah, it's okay. I can understand your priority of wanting to get to Mo. Ali Bismo says, how confident you of Perisic minutes versus Man United? Predicted Tottenham team. Predict Conte is Loris in goal, Romero, Dyer. I think Longley will play. Doherty, 5 in midfield. So Bentancur, Bissouma, Højbjerg. I think Sessegnon starts. Kane, Son up front. Do not take a hit to remove Ivan Perisic. Like my most frequently asked question this week. I wouldn't move Ivan Perisic this week for free. I could be wrong. And very importantly, if it's going badly for Tottenham and Tottenham decide, and I'm pretty sure we will play 3-5-2, but if it's going badly and we do decide to change to 3-4-3, Perisic will go into the front three. So don't sell him. Again, hit for what this week? Next week, hit him for a Man City player or hit him for an Arsenal player if you think Perisic isn't getting the minutes, or Liverpool when you've got more information, or Trent's definitely back, or fine. Not this week. his body is, he'll get you something. He'll get you a 1, right? He'll get you something at worst. Radar CS says, evening James, wildcard for game week 13. Do you think a -4 from Maddison to Trossard is worth it with 11 on the field? I'm currently 5 at the back with a couple of rotation risks. Nah, it wouldn't bother. Look at what Trossard's walking into after this week. Kia says, hello James, what do you think of Maddison, Gross and Reece James to Gay, Pereira and Salah from -4? Yeah, I can't argue that. I think that's okay. Pirlo's Pen says KDB Maddison to Salah captain Trossard, I assume gets thumbs up. Yeah, I can't argue. If it not been Zaha, it would have been Trossard for me. Like I said, it was more a case, and I might even move Zaha on as early as the weekend. Because of the fixtures, if I did, okay, fine, he stays. I didn't want to look at Trossard going to Man City the weekend, knowing that I might be carrying Emerson as a possible rotation threat, Doherty as a possible rotation threat. Who knows what other issues I might pick up this week, right? JP, what's for dinner? I have absolutely no idea, mate. Not a clue, to tell you the truth. I've got to get home first. Shano83 says, hey James, thoughts on Maddison to Mount? Probably just for this game before going to Saka. If you think he starts, yes. I'm not certain that he will. I think if I knew he was going to start, great. I just think, and people say, he started every game. Yeah, I know. But exactly what I said earlier for someone else. It's United Saturday, Salzburg Tuesday, just play Villa Sunday. Does he start 4 games in 4 days? Now, it might be that he doesn't start against Salzburg. It might be that he starts all of them because he's Mason Mount. He's got great fitness levels and Potter obviously likes him. But if he was going to miss a game, it might be this one. Says he's not for me. Not for me. But if you've got real confidence he starts, you crack on. And I'm not saying I don't think he'll start. I'm logically thinking he could miss this one. B. Hurlin, I mean, that's Bruno. I think that is benching dilemmas high. Yeah, exactly, mate. Meninda says, thoughts on Scamacca over Wilson if it enables a Nico to Gay to Cancelo move next week. Yeah, I'm okay with that, mate. Yeah. Ali Jahagin-Roth, sorry if I mispronounced that. Hi, James, on wildcard. Salah and Solanke or Kane and Saka? Personally, I would go Salah and Solanke at this stage to open up the potential that if I don't want Salah, then fine, you're great with the money and you can do other things. A Wood says, top 10k last year, slumming it down 1.7 million this year. Lost my head and done Haaland, Sterling and Emerson to Núñez, Salah and Gay on a scale of 1 to 10. How insane am I? What's the highest? Is 10 the highest or is it 1? 5. Birth Media says, when you get a moment, James, please enlighten us on the on the DM from Az. Me and Az had a nice chat. Josh Tellin says, afternoon, James. I love Az. Everyone knows I love Az. Josh Tellin says, afternoon, James. Would you take a... I didn't fucking agree with him, though, which you know, because he told you all. Josh Tellin says, afternoon, James. Would you take a hit for Greenwood to Darwin Núñez, but means only getting one of Cancelo, Saka and Gameweek 13? Would you take a hit for Greenwood to Darwin Núñez, but means only getting one of Cancelo's... no, except 10 players, mate. And Ninda Dad says, Núñez and Son or Salah and Kane? Salah and Kane. Sam Buxley, why is Welbeck not in the captaincy picks? Rotation risk. Another one. And I do think he will start. Rotation risk. Playing the weakest team in the league at the moment at home. And he's brittle. And they will definitely want him away at Manchester City on Saturday. So that's why. That's why he's not on there, mate. That's why Mason Mount, by the way, is 8th rather than about 5th. Same reason. Mickey Ray says, just setting off to pick the daughter up. Thought I would say hi, keep up the great work. Also just say to hear about Dorking versus Wrexham in September. Owner of Dorking put £300 behind the bar for the away supporters. That's nice. Manish says, is it worth selling Kane to get Salah for 2 transfer? Here's the thing, right? Do you really want to keep Harry? And if you do, then no. Then no. I was prepared to take Salah on this week, but I ended up in a position where I had no good alternative captaincy options. Now, if you're sitting there thinking the same right now, then fine, get him. But can you captain Harry at Old Trafford? Can you captain Trippier or Wilson or Mitrovic? If you're comfortable with that, I'd leave it be. Don't rule out Harry getting something at Old Trafford. Remember, Harry's away record is as good as his home record. So it's almost, don't worry about home and away with Harry. Do I expect him to go off big? No, but a Harry Kane goal might be worth 9 points, and I wouldn't expect Salah to get double figures this week. I don't think it will matter that much, personally. Now, if you definitely think, I definitely want Salah for Forest as well, and you definitely want him for captaincy, get it done. WA says, thoughts on captaining Trossard over Kane? Don't hate it. I've thought about it in terms of potentially getting him in and captaining him. I think the Lallana news would make me a little bit nervous. I do think Trossard will start. A no for me. Simon B says 7 likely starters, including Salah, captain, plus Aubameyang, Perisic, Greenwood, James. Would you do James out from -4 onto who? 0.9 in the bank. If I had Reece James, I think it's one. I would take the -4 for a Liverpool defender. And if you are concerned about rotation in any way, honestly, buy Virgil van Dijk. We saw at the end of last season with Joel Matip that over a really short span of games, and we're coming into a 5-game period, we're probably looking at maybe Van Dijk having an extra game over Trent and Robertson. Matip well outscored them at the back end of last season, right? So could Van Dijk do similar in this stretch of 5 games? Yeah. Why not? Why not? John Cale says, evening James, mate, would you start Dean Henderson or Ward? Best of luck for the game week. Would I start Dean Henderson or Ward? Ward. I don't know why I thought about that for so long, to be honest. Dan says, hi James, great stream channel. Are you looking forward to FPL Content Awards? I've done -4 Maddison and Jesus to Sinistera and Darwin. Good luck, mate. And good luck to everybody who's been nominated for the FPL Content Awards. Do you mean the Football Content Awards? I presume you mean the Football Content Awards. If so, I wish all the nominees the very best of luck. I couldn't give a fuck about it. Not going to lie. We made no effort for votes, and that's a story from a couple of years ago. Rhino says, hi James, this is game week 13 question, but it affects my game at 12 move. Do you prefer Son or KDB in 13 to 16? Cheers, KDB, mate. But I'd rather have Phil Foden in now. I think Cancelo, Foden, Haaland would be the best three. I just think Foden's worth the saving on KDB. So actually, from that perspective, therefore, I will say Son. Mad says, hello, I have made 1 transfer and now I have 11 players for game week 12. Is it too risky to take a -4 for a differential? Example, from Dyer to Robertson, Trent, or up from Solanke, Mitrovic to Tony, Bobby, Nunez. Solanke, Mitrovic, I wouldn't dream of being in either of them two with those fixtures this week. And the forward defenders already discussed. Guys, if you've got questions in about hits for defenders, unless you're selling someone like Reece James, that one example I give previously, who's sitting there, he's got to go, then just bin them, guys. Yeah, delete them. C-Tobs FPO Lion says, Darwin or Mitro free hit? Mitrovic for me. Ben Eddington says, hi mate, what's your plans for strikers going forward? Will you eventually try get back to someone like Jesus, or will you stick with Haaland and to around 6 million upwards? Haaland's a definite stay. And I haven't decided about the rest yet. I like what I've said, kind of that Mitrovic to Schumacher move. I can also do that from like Solanke to Schumacher this week. I have the money in the bank, go with both of them, or go with Tony potentially. I'm open to the idea of moving Solanke to a 4.3. I'm open to the idea of wanting to bin Mo Salah immediately and wanting to get Harry in. So no, I haven't decided. And I think it's really short-term decisions now. So you know me, I'm a fixture head, and I like to make my decisions based on transfers. That becomes less and less important now because it's so short-term. We're just going week to week. And I think it's more about me fixing the immediate problems that I have going forward. And I can't tell you right now where those problems are. So if I end up sticking with Haaland, Mitrovic and Solanke because I've got problems somewhere else, that's what I'll do. Schumacher's the one that I'm really on radar at some point for me, I think now, from what I saw from the Southampton game. James Brennan says, Karan says, Darwin or Wilson, T-Boz, Darwin, Zaha, Trent or Mitro, Son, Gomez. Toti Gomez isn't going to play for Wolves, mates. He's going to do nothing to help you. So Yeah. I'm going to presume that you can't afford Mitrovic and Son without the cheapie. I'd be very, very surprised if Totti Gomez plays, mate. James Brennan says, hi James, 2 free transfers and I'm moving Son to Salah to captain, but who is the best 1 week punt for Maddison with an 8 million budget? Thanks. It's probably Trossard. Probably Trossard. Ben M says, cheers as always, top man, gone risky with Trent in, good luck to all. Rob Pick says, hi mate, don't want to sell Maddison this week, as only want Saka, Martinelli as replacements. Would you sell Zuma for Gay, Dunk or Roll and have 2 free transfer the weekend? Done KDB to Mo, captain. Well, do you want to keep Zuma? They've got 3 great home games left after this week, Rob. So are you potentially going to have some regret? Judge it over the 5 games, see what you think. Like, you know, you'd rather have Zuma this coming week than Gay, wouldn't you? Away to Everton, for example. Dunk goes to City. So of the 3, Zuma's got the best fixture in 13, hasn't he? So just think beyond this week. Judge it over the 5 games. My instinct would be, don't bother. I think Zuma will play, by the way. Not that you're expecting points this week. Praveen says, start Raya or Ward. You'll find both of those keepers on the bench in dilemma. And unbelievably, yes, I'm going to say Danny Ward. Kia says, good day, James. For game week 13, the only way for me to get Foden without a hit is selling Zaha. Would want to sell Trossard instead, but it's a headache. Is Foden hit worthy? He might be. But that's possibly dependent on how you feel about the selling player. And I'm going to guess that selling player's playing this week. So don't worry about it too much. We're moving on to the next one. Chill. Enjoy the football. Cole MCC says, hi James, a couple of weeks ago I asked you, should I go Kerr or Gay? You said Gay and I took your advice and it was 15 defo the right choice, so cheers. Yay, I won. Yeah, subscribe to my Patreon. Yeah, you don't really get much extra FPL stuff, to be honest. You get a lot of extra content though, like a brilliant Tottenham tomorrow, which definitely doesn't feature any FPL. Quartzy says, would you rather TAE and 2 of Saka, Foden, Jesus, or no Trent and all 3 between game week 13 and the break? Good luck this game week, mate. Well, could you work to have Saka and Martinelli instead, rather than Jesus, and still have Trent as well? The thing is with Jesus is it's awkward, and it's the same for Tony coming up as well, and probably why Tony's not on my radar for the weekend. They're both on the 4 yellows, and I just hate to buy them in for the 1 game. Imagine buying and getting them in, and they get booked, and it's 1 pointer, and oh fuck, I've got to sell it already. And that's, you know, are you risk or not? Like, I would hate to buy Jesus this week and he gets booked against Southampton, Mr. Forest at home, and I'm looking, right, I'm going to go Schumacher. Right now he's got Man United away. That doesn't feel right. So yeah, I would, if it's possible, and I don't have the money to do it in 1 transfer weekend either, by the way, Trent, but I'm not keen on rushing it tonight. I think you want to see what their plan is for tomorrow night. Cole MC says, quick question, Saka or Zaha? Game it's 13-16. Saka. Here's my take. Form too good. Elliot Davis, Mitrovic and Maddison for Mount and Nunes. Sensible or stupid? I'm going to presume that that's an incorrect question, so I'm not going to answer it. John Lawler says, best defender under 5 million up to game week 16. I still think the Palace guys, Palace have got the best of the fixture. They've got good insurance. Doherty, if he stays in the team, is potentially very good, actually, but in the first instance, still Palace. Ronan McGinley says, Sinistera captain, a week to go for it. If you fancy it, mate. Chris Bradley says, my game week 12 transfers are done. Who would you fancy more in game week 13? Solanke up to Firmino or Castagne up to Trent? Castagne up to Trent. Basbestos says, hi James, hope you're well. Moving on, Aubameyang, Maddison and James. Would you get Nunes, Mount and Trent, or Solanke, Salah and 8 Nori? Defender needs to be 4.3 or below. At the 4.3 or below, I'd prefer, Gay went to 4.4 last night, didn't he? I'd prefer James Justin to 8 Nori. It's too much of a rotation risk headache, I think. So prefer Justin if you went that way. I think the Solanke, Salah. I'm not big on Aubameyang. I know you're getting rid of Aubameyang, to be fair. Nunes, I've got concerns. Sorry. De Paria Day wants to do question in capital letters, which you all know I absolutely love questions with capital letters. Hi James, I'm looking for bringing in a forward. Who do you suggest between Wilson or Firmino? Wilson, mate. Albaziri Martin says Alba and Barnes for Salah and Wilson for -4. I really think we're past the days of -4s that include Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I presume you're selling Aubameyang and Barnes, Salah and Wilson -4. Sounds like you're forcing in Salah. It definitely makes your team better. Fine, do it. I mean, it definitely makes your team better. Arguably gives you the two most fancy players to score this midweek. JP says, how do you think Spurs United game will pan out? Spurs 1-0 win, in my opinion. Tight. Difficult. I'm interested to see which team takes the initiative and control of the game. In terms of possession, it's quite shared. In recent games with each other, neither team has particularly wanted the ball. So I think that's an interesting thing to watch out for tomorrow night. And I'm not sure how that will go because Ten Hag teams have very much kind of countered against better opponents this year. And it's not to say that we are one, but we're up there. And Tottenham, we know, will want to hit United on the counter. But in the system, have greater adaptability to be able to control. So I don't think it'll be high scoring. I think it'll be tight. I do think we can go there and win. I also think we're equally as capable of going there and getting beat. It's a really tough game to call. Yogish says, is Trossard worth -4 for Maddison when you have to remove him next week or field 10 players? My decision was no. Uros says, hi James, Saka or Foden for Gameweek 13 if you could only pick one. I think Foden. That said, with Saka, I'd feel like if I didn't get him this week, I'd arguably let it go because they go to Chelsea in 15. So I would want to get Saka straight away. So, yeah, come back and ask me on Friday. That's tough, that. And it's the sort of thing I'm going to be deliberating myself. And I haven't decided for my own self what I'm going to do. Gabba008 says, best Nico Williams replacement recommendations, 5th defender. I mean, this week, just keep him. The honest answer is anyone. How much money you got in the bank, mate? Yo says, start Cresswell or Nico Williams. Aren't you lucky? I think Nico Williams, and you hope that Brighton have one of them days where they overindulge in front of goal. Mad says, good afternoon. Up from Solanke to Firmino or Tony for -4. Firmino, I just got the money. Just keep Solanke, mate. Southampton at home this week. Mate, a free transfer next week. Simon Kurtz is still keen on Session starting over Perisic. I'm less confident the more now with less defensive option needed with Basuma more likely to coming in. Definitely there is more chance of Perisic starting on Wednesday than there was prior to the game at the weekend. That's definitely true. Does he want Perisic to go up against Anthony though? I think that's a clincher. Safari says Daka or Solanke considering fixtures. Solanke still. I don't know if Daka's going to play. Champ guy, Nico Williams or Shimikas to bench. I mean, look, if you've got Shimikas, you play him, right? But see how you get on.
Tell the audience I'm coming, 6:01.
Suj said he's coming in at 6:01, so don't leave at 6:01. We are about 13 minutes from deadline, guys. Andy Cannon says, keeping taking those hits, guys, enjoying the 4-point head start. Yeah, well said, Andy. I'm one of them who's taken one, by the way. Ryan Walker says, why has this stream got under 100 likes at the moment? This shit's free, you know that, right? Just literally just press the button. Press. Ryan Walker says, already did Madders to Trossard last night. Do I take a -8 to do Kane and Andreas to Salah Tony? Christ. And Andreas got a great fixture as well. Breaking the structure of your team. I'm going to say no, Ryan. Yogish says, is Trossard worth -4 for Maddison when you have to... I feel like we've done that, mate, and I'm bored of it. Good luck, though. Akshay says, have Emerson starting 11. Should I take a hit to replace him? My team's on screen. Have a look and see what I've done. Ali Boskurt says, hi, James. Captaincy headaches here. No Salah. And can't trust Trossard after last display. Son or Zaha for captaincy? Sonny. If Spurs, hit United hard on the counter, then it's there, isn't it? The possibility. Unlikely, but it's there. Alex Allegretto says, good luck, James. You too, mate. Shri MC, thanks, James. Good luck all. You're very welcome. James Nelson, best of luck this week, James. Absolutely love the content. About to hit wild card. In your opinion, best differential player for every position? Kepa in goal. Although I think Pickford is worth considering. Not great this week, but good last four. Defenders, Trent, Robertson. Midfield, differential in midfield. I wonder, does Sonny come under that category? I wonder. I think all the best midfielders are fairly well owned. I tell you, I'm going to say I feel like Jared Bowen maybe still is pretty lowly owned, maybe. Again, not a great fixture this week. Up front, Skamaka. James Nelson, that's what I've just done. FPL Andy, sorry James, I know you said not to, but I'm doing Perisic to Trent for a hit anyway. You can, mate. As I always say, play it your way. Just because I say don't doesn't mean that you can't. Play it your way, mate. Murray Roach says, hey James, I never have an FPL question because I'm rubbish. As a foreigner, I never saw the show, but how awesome was Saint and Greasy? You can answer all the FPL queries first. No, that's okay, mate. It was revolutionary at the time. It was the first kind of Saturday football preview show. So I mean, it would look incredibly dated now, but at the time, it was everybody watched it. Always watched that as a kid. Used to watch it and then go to the game. It was part of your Saturday, mate. Ahmed says James and Jesus out. Wilson and Robertson -8. Wildcard 13. No. Wilson, yes. Robertson, no. Jack says Cancelo to Gay or Kane to Wilson to fund Maddison. Kane to Wilson. I think I wouldn't want to bin Cancelo. Gally Bro, Captain Zaha versus Mitro versus Mount. If you have a look at the captaincy picks on the screen, you'll get my preference there. Best of luck. Ross Dallas says -4 in Gameweek 13 for Saka and Foden, in for Trossard and Zaha. Yeah, seems good. Gaddy says sell Son to Salah, captain -4. Do you want to keep Sonny? Would you rather have Sonny at the weekend? Would you rather have Mo Salah? You'd rather definitely have Mo Salah at the weekend. There's your answer. Florentine P says, hi James, what do you think about Joe Gomez until the World Cup? I think that we haven't got enough clarity on what's happening with Konate and Matip, so it's a no from me. I mean, will it fix a problem for you now, and could you potentially bench him later on? Yes, I also think you can be more open to it than normal because most of us don't have free Liverpool. In the past, I'd say, oh, you're blocking a Liverpool spot. You're probably not. So you can go there. And obviously, he's the sort of player, if he comes out the team, probably isn't going to get on as a substitute. So I don't hate it, but I wouldn't certainly be in a rush to do it. And I definitely wouldn't do it for a hit. Abby says, do you think Gross will start? I'm going to say no. Don't remove him for a hit, though. Just if you've got, just keep. To be honest, almost anyone you've got this week, where you've got debates like that, who could be good if he starts. A little bit like I started Mitch Fish at the weekend. I couldn't be having it. I don't want to see that team, and he's sitting on my bench, my FPL team. Similar with Gross. Like you've got, it's a good fixture. Okay, he might not start. Could be a 1-pointer. He could come off the bench and take a penalty. Even who knows. North Smith says, great stream as always, James. Is Isaac to Wilson worth a -4 to get 10 playing? Better options than Wilson. Question, already have Mitrovic. No, I think, if I was free hitting this week, it'd be Wilson. So in the immediate, yeah, Wilson. Martin White says, KDB to Salah and Maddison to Trossard done. Tony to Solanke for -4. Question, free cash for Trossard to Saka and Andreas to Foden also -4 next week. Nah. I know he's done well, the boy, but -4, nah. Yogesh says, is Trossard worth -4? Mate, I can see your question is there like so many times, which means my Twitter DMs are open if you don't like why you've been rude from the channel. Cheers. Smash a like on your way out. Thanks. C Tobbs FPL Line, what would be your free hit team for this week? I did cover that earlier in the stream, but thanks for your question, mate. Cyrus Barnard, how long did the yellow cards last before being wiped off? Cheers. It's certainly after the World Cup. It's normally about game week 19-20, so it'd be for a while. Ollie Smith 16, sell Rashford for Sinistera. Cheers. No, I wouldn't do that. In fact, Rashford, I think on the free hit I did for our patrons, yes, I think I even had Rashford in it, actually, in the end. So, no, I wouldn't sell Rashford. Lee Tester, Chilwell to Trippier, -4. I think Chilwell gets rested and want Trippier long term. Nah, it's not worth a hit. Do you want Trippier long term? I mean, let's say Chilwell got rested. I'd rather have Chilwell against Man United at the weekend than Trippier away to Tottenham. Lee Tessa also says, great content, smash the like, thank you. And TJ says, hi James, any preference between Anderson and Gay? Thanks James, good luck this game week. Yeah, still Gay. He's the cheaper. That's about it, mate. Maddie and Ape Cook says, De Bruyne to Son with free transfer, play with 9 this week and have 2 free transfers to get Arsenal players next week. No, I think I'd probably make the 3 there. I think I'd do it and take hits to get the players you want at the weekend. 1N7EL. For a hit, no. For free, yeah, I'll do it, mate. 1N7EL. Kane and Mount for Mitro and Son just for this game week. Kane and Mount for Mitro and Son. No. Mitro and Sonny, mate. AMC to the moon. Hi, I don't quite understand the wild card. For example, I have Trippier and concern for 5.5, but then if I want to buy him back next week, it will cost 5.7. Is this a bug? No, this is the game. Read the rules, my friend. Garin Yasu says, Captain Sterling or Salah? Next question. Stuart Weselick says, what kind of car do you drive? Thanks for the great content. Don't drive. Never had a car, mate. I've been drinking for the last 25 years. Not heavily these days. Ross Milecevic says, hi James, would you transfer Nico Williams for Gay or Anderson? I already took a -4 for trust on Salah. It's going to be another -4, isn't it? So the answer is no. Ash88 Gloss says, thanks for the stream, James. If wildcarding game week 13, can we consider hits for non-playing players as a -2 rather than a -4 as it won't affect the team going forwards? Yes, you can. David Bakradze said, where would you put Almiron in bench dilemmas? Wish you luck, mate. I'd play him over everybody that's on that list, including Perisic. Ren says, hi James, I can go Maddison to Son. That's why he's not on it. I can go Maddison to Son for free or play Williams and save the transfer to get Saka or Foden next week. I still think go with Sonny, personally. If you want to take a -4 to get what you want to get next week, get it. Bain says, hi James, do you think Firmino's worth a punt this week? I don't hate it. He'd be in my predicted lineup. Ali Hassan says, hey mate, who to captain? Son, Trossard, Trippier or Mitrovic? Bottom right hand corner, you can see all my preferences there, mate. And guess what? All 4 of the players you've named are right there on the screen. Also, while you're there, have a quick look at the message that's pinned to the top of the chat. Cheers, Ali. Good luck, mate. Thomas Dalrymple says, Pope or Ward? We play Pope, didn't you? Lewis Johnson says, hi James, Sky question if you don't mind. Anderson, Webster or Zaha captain tonight? I'm going to go Webster. I don't own a Palace defender. I doubt they'll get passing tiers tonight, the Palace defenders. So even though I think Forest will score Webster. Static says, do we know why Cucurella was subbed off at half-time in game week 11? Yeah, it was shit. Abhinav says, Sinistera or Trossard taking a hit for one of them. Sinistera, because he's got Fulham at home at the weekend. There you go. John Mensa says, hi James, what do you think of Barnes as a 1-week punt to replace Maddison before moving to Saka next week? I already got Salah. Yeah, I don't mind that. I did consider Barnes. Jennings says, is Firmino nailed on? I don't do that word, nailed on. Nailed to the wall, nailed to the bench, nailed to the team. No, I presume he means he nailed to play. No, he's not. Vish says, Boris or Liz? Pass me the bucket. Brian04 says, Sessignon to Gomez, Chalobah or Castagne? Just play Sessignon, mate. That's literally is my answer to that. 3ZZE77. Good day, James. Thanks for content. Is it crazy to go McAllister over Trossard? Game week 12 only. And Son to Mo for -4 to beat the 0.1 price rise. Mo coming in next week and way. Cheers, mate. God, I lost the wheel there a little bit. You want to go McAllister over Trossard for this week only. I mean, look, he's on pens, so could he outscore him in 1 week? Yeah, of course he could. Daniel Cullerton says, hi, mate. You said on a pod this week you didn't think Salah and Nunes work. Do you think it's a bedding-in period, or do you think the two in the same team will always have problems? Cheers. No. I don't think they work together centrally. So I think if Nunes plays, I think Salah's got to go back wide. And I just don't think right now that they should move Salah back out the middle. If it's a free, fine. So you could have like Nunes forward, Carvalho left, and Salah to the right. No problem. Like, can they play together in that system? Yes. Can they play together where one of them needs to act as a number 10? No, I don't think so. Per Stotty says, hi. Well, can they? Yes. Do I like it? No. Per Stotty says, hi, James. What's your opinion on how Spurs line out tomorrow? I have done the whole predicted lineup a little while ago. We've got about a minute to the deadline, guys. Make sure you're getting locked in. Matthew Hall says, hi, James. Wilson or Darwin Firmino for 1 week punt? Definitely Wilson. Shani Razzle, Big James, did -8 to... no, you're not mad, mate. I couldn't be bothered to read the rest of your question. You've made your moves. All I've got to say to you is the very, very best of luck, mate. Let's check that no one's had a fuck around with my own FPL team. I don't want it to be bad this week, do you know what I mean? Quick, guys, about not many seconds to deadline, basically. Pick team. Oh my God, Salah's he's captain. Jay Baker, what game we watching tonight, James? Palace v Wolves has got Garden Centre written all over it, or any Wolves games for that matter. Depends on Harry, because I'm not going to get home until about 7 o'clock, and I want to spend some time with him. So it might be that I watch all of Palace Wolves and I watch Brighton and Nottingham Forest on the train up to Manchester tomorrow. Spud Maestro, you need to start doing a transfer dilemma graphic similar to your benching dilemma one. Feel like you get asked a lot of X or Y questions. It was always going to be worse this week because the choices are... There's not a huge number of choices this week. Oliver Ratcliffe says, hi James, would you sell Son to Salah for a hit, even if you were captain Son if you kept him? No. Would I sell Son to Salah? No. No, not for a hit. Free, yeah. James Nelson, get light in the stream, everyone. Thank you. LH, done KDB, Salah, Maddison, Trossard, all the best, Jay. And to you too. As far as I'm concerned, the deadline has gone. That's it. That's your lot. I got through majority of your questions. Sorry to those that I didn't get to. I see Sage says pizza or pasta. Why not both? I'm a greedy fucker. If anyone's got any non-FPL questions, please pop them in the chat. Suj has promised that he's going to pop back in here in a minute and come and say hello. So if you've got any non-FPL questions, pop them in the chat. If you just came for the FPL, I wish you the very best of luck for your game week. Smash a like. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. Deadline stream is at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. Before that, we've got Sky Fantasy Football for you tomorrow. Clash of Correspondence on Thursday. Manchester City versus Brighton with Johnny Pringle and Sam Murray. The audio won't be out to around about 6 o'clock. I will almost definitely have it out before the football, but basically we're recording it as soon as I get back from Manchester. Therefore, the YouTube video probably won't be out to around about 10 o'clock at night. And the main man, Serge, will be joining me for a full game week review on Friday. I knew you were going to bring the chair that way, where there's all bag and shit and wires in the way, when there's a chair right there that you could just pull right over, and I can put the mic in the middle. You only come to this bit because this is like the non-FPL bit, right?
The non-FPL bit, but I'd set my team up ages
No one can
earlier.
see you. It's a bit small, isn't it?
Yeah, it's alright.
I'm stuck. Why am I stuck?
Not a problem. Smash the stream, as always.
Smash the stream? Yeah, or smash a like? Or...
No, you smash the
stream.
stream.
No one can see you. Have we got a...
I hope you can hear me if you can't see me. So let's do a few other questions.
You'd rather see Suj than me, wouldn't you? I'm going to guess. I don't know, like I'm waiting for a reply when no one can reply instantly. Yeah, James, we'd rather see Suj.
Where's the chat? Okay.
Right. Midnight Mule's happy that Trossard is 7th on the captaincy list. I think he's overhyped. Abby wants to know where you are.
We're at work, in the office.
Where's you?
Oh, I'm right here.
Patrick O'Meara says last minute -8. Yeah, careful, that could go wrong.
It could.
Right. Is that better? We're having the fun and games here. Now they can't see neither of us.
I'm here. It's all right. I'm behind James's team.
You know what you want to do? We'll just fuck the camera off like further back. That's what you want to do. Yeah, fuck the camera off. If you stand over there and hold it, it might work. It might not. You need to flick it up now.
There we go.
Just kind of hi. I always I forget that we're live.
You know, sometimes you go to like McDonald's. You don't want to know how they make their food. Being this side of your screen when you're doing the live stream, it's like seeing how things are made. How
do you like
food's
it
made
or
and
not?
stuff. Yeah. It's quite like pilot in a cockpit style. There's stuff going on everywhere.
All right, let's do
Complicated
these
business.
fucking questions. This is like bonus Planet FPL. I shouldn't have pressed that button. You see,
Yeah.
she being here has
It's the
just made
pressure.
everything much
Pressure.
worse, mate.
Right, let's do some other questions.
All right. Tell everyone about your day while I'm finding questions.
It's been alright, it's been busy. I've got a sick wife at home, so I had to pick the kids up from school this afternoon.
Sure. Right.
Flu, man.
Joe Finney-Badder, who's getting promoted from the Championship, looking pretty open so far.
Norwich, because they go down 1 year, then they come up 1 year, then they go down 1 year, then they come back up again.
You know Joe Sports, don't you?
Yeah, Watford.
Yeah, what about them? They do the same thing.
Well, they're up there at the top of the table, so they've got just as good a chance.
Going to say Sheffield United. Sheffield United coming back, and Burnley. Jordan Bellaby says best meat for a roast dinner. Leeds are not massive. Sorry, Jordan. Best meat for a roast.
I will generally be greedy and ask for a bit of both. Bit of beef and bit of chicken. Tell everybody about your carvery trick. We've done that one before.
Oh yeah.
If you go to a carvery, for sure.
So they fuck you up, don't they? So if you go to like a Toby Carvery, was it like you get lamb, gammon beef,
chicken.
or chicken and turkey or something?
Yeah.
Don't get everything. Leave out the turkey and you get more of the rest. Honestly, it confuses them. They don't seem happy knowing that you only want 2 or 3 of them. I'm going to say lamb anyway. Andy Cairns, how's your day at work, fellas?
All good.
Do you know what? It wasn't too bad, actually.
All good.
There was a lot going on today. It wasn't too bad. Voya says, who would like to be Loris' successor, James? I will say he's France's successor, Mike Mannion at AC Milan. I like the look of, but he's probably unobtainable now.
Black? Too expensive.
I think we need a different style of goal. I think he's a great goalkeeper, but I think we need a different style of goalkeeper. If we got Oblak, I would not complain, by the way. Rehan says, my dilemma for next game week is... Rehan, good luck to you, mate. We'll do next week, mate. Frode says, is the wife's playing in Lynn's game week 39? No, she'll have to look after the baby.
Is there a women's match?
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, okay, fair play.
Joe Corley says, Webster or Zaha captain in Sky? I'm going Webster. What are you doing, Suj?
Casado. I've got Casado and Nico Williams. It's got to be Casado.
Okay. I was just trying to think how I can move these graphics. I don't know how to.
Don't worry, it's all right.
Martin Boyle, always listen for your tactical analysis. Have you done any coaching badges? No. What about you, Suj?
I did my level 1.
Did you really?
Yeah, years and years and years ago. I think when my son was born, just after my son was born, so it'd been about 2013, I did level 1. Over about 3 weekends. Level 1's like your basic. Saturday, Sunday for 2 or 3 weekends.
To be honest, I go to Spurs every week and I do the coaching in the stands. Just no one can hear me. Jason Sexton says, hi James, long time listener, first time caller. Haagen-Dazs or Ben & Jerry's? That's Ben & Jerry's for me. Oh, really?
Yeah, cookies and cream, Haagen-Dazs all day long. There used to be a Haagen-Dazs cafe in Leicester Square. I don't know if you remember, right by where the Odeon is.
I can't afford to go to these places.
That used to be where you'd want to take girls on a date. So Haagen-Dazs all day long.
You used to take girls to the West End on dates?
Yeah, well, it was 16, 17.
I used to take them down Tottenham High Road, mate.
Trocadero and Haagen-Dazs, that was the one.
Thomas is just shouting, yes, James. Yeah, Thomas. Jay Barker wants the United and Spurs combined 11. It says Loris, Romero, Varane, Martinez, Dalot, Casemiro, Ericsson, Perisic. I presume this is 3 at the back.
That's a lot of Man United
Bruno,
in there.
Kane, Son, 3-4-1-2. Any changes?
A lot of Man United in there. Yeah, a lot of changes.
No, it's fairly balanced. You've got Loris, Romero, Perisic, Bruno, Kane in there.
No Eric Dyer? You'd have Dyer over Varane, wouldn't you? It's been more consistent.
To be honest with you, on what I've watched this season, I have Dyer over Romero. That's probably the right 3, though, in fairness. I wouldn't argue that. To be honest, I wouldn't argue Dalot at the moment as right wing back either. Casemiro, Ericsson. I think in that system, I'd want someone to really do Casemiro's running around. I'd probably put Højbjerg in there. I'm not saying Højbjerg's a better footballer than Ericsson. I just mean in terms of the balance. Or you drop Bruno and play a 3, And then it's easier to leave Ericsson in there. And then arguably I'd probably want Bentancur instead of Højbjerg then. So, but yeah, actually it's not a bad shot as a combined team. I think that's okay. Zizou says, hey, Surgeon James, do you like pineapples on pizza?
Yep. It's acceptable for me. It's not my choice. Like, I wouldn't, if I'm ordering a pizza, my first thing isn't, let me get pineapple. But every now and then I will have pineapple on a pizza and it doesn't stop me eating the pizza. So I think pineapple on pizza is
pineapple
fine.
a fruit?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not interested in it then. Lord Oishi says, Spurs question, mate. Peak Sheringham or peak Modric? Spurs playing days only. I mean, you can't really compare them because they're wildly different. One's a striker and one's a midfield player. And also it's difficult in terms of Sheringham's longevity. Played for Tottenham for so long. So I'm going to say Modric.
Because he had his better years at Real Madrid. He
Modric,
went on and really
Modric would get into my all-time Tottenham team. You're talking about a player who's got on to win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Modric. FPL Finding Glory. Harry looks like he has aged this week. Hi, Serge. I did not see Harry on the stream last
I saw him on the stream.
You see him when I said
as soon as he comes
told
on
him
the
to
stream,
say hello,
shuts up.
and he said bye.
You don't get to say anything. I saw him when he was trying to nick your camera.
Martin Boyle says, Dean Henderson to whom in Sky after this evening, 0.7 in the bank.
Kepa.
That's a very decent shout, Serge.
Cheap, isn't it? It saves you a bit of money elsewhere. I'd go Kepa.
But fixtures aren't great.
No, but sometimes you just let him tick over.
Would you consider Flappy if you didn't already have the coverage for Monday night?
What price? I don't know. Wouldn't even know what price he is. But
it's got to be affordable.
If you've got no coverage for Monday, then yeah, defo. Flappy's a good shot. 3 home games: Palace, Leeds.
Also, might not feel like the best entry tomorrow night, but consider Pickford. They've got good last few. Asil Salem says, hi James, have you ever celebrated a team's win that's not Spurs or England? Yeah, loads of teams have beat Arsenal, mate. For example, I celebrated Korea's win versus Germany in 2018 World Cup. That was shocking and fun at the same time. Only wins against Arsenal, or maybe a few against Chelsea. Iniesta's equalised for Barcelona against Chelsea. Actually, there is one. He had a sizable bet on Spain in 2010. So when they won the final, I suppose that. But I didn't celebrate and go mad.
Just happy.
Just happy. There have been some goals that have gone in against Arsenal where things have fallen over, and yeah, I mean Michael Owen in the cup final in 2001, Obafemi Martin's goal for Birmingham in 2011 League Cup final, Naeem in 95. Yeah, there's been some good ones. Danelius says, yo. Christopher Tellers, hey guys, any plans to have watch-alongs during the World Cup? Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
Basically, yes.
Yes, and I'll be very honest, yes for patrons is the answer. Rob picks his thoughts on the new Gaffer boost, Gaffer pod anytime soon. Can I be honest with you, Rob? I ain't got a Scooby, mate. I saw something about follow the leader or something. I'll be honest, I looked at my team for about 30 seconds today, realised it looked absolutely terrible and went, I'll roll a transfer.
What's Gaffer boost? Like a new chip or something?
Yeah. I can't even explain it because I've not even looked at it properly. The answer to your question is, Rob, yes, possibly. Certainly, worst case, the Championship restart for the Premier League. So worst case, something on Patreon before it restarts. Christian Nikolov, Dotty on Gameweek 13 wildcard. Can't answer that now. See what happens tomorrow night. But for me, that would be a no. If you had to lock me in yes or no now, it'd be no. And why am I answering an FPL question? Zuggy Lester says, what is your favourite smell? Can I answer that, Serge?
Yeah.
It's my show anyway. The burger vans outside the ground, mate. When you know you're at football.
Yeah.
When you know you're at football.
Favourite smell? That's a really good question. It's not one that you get asked often.
It's the burger vans.
You always ask favourite food, favourite drink, favourite smell. Candy floss.
Well, this is where you do something like, my ex. Claire from work.
Well done on selecting a name that there's no one at work called Claire. You can pick a random name.
Oh, you know the John Smith's advert, right?
No.
Oh, you're joking, mate.
No.
Where they're all sitting in the Indian. And she goes, you can shag anyone you want. Pick anyone. And Peter Kay just goes, oh yeah, Claire from work.
Oh, fair play.
Patrick Lawson, would you eat more porridge if it was bright purple or lime green or another vibrant colour instead of dull brown? I wouldn't eat that shit anyway. What
I
about
like
you?
porridge.
Yeah?
Yeah. It wouldn't make me eat any more of it, but I like porridge.
Asil says, top 3 favourites for the World Cup. Do you think France will still be favourites even though no Kante or Pogba? Maybe. We don't know that they're out. And they've got good, promising players. France, definitely.
Germany, Brazil.
Brazil, definitely, I think. I think France, Brazil, Argentina. And you've got Germany, Spain in competition with that as well. And I think after that, it's probably...
England.
I'd arguably put Portugal above England at the moment. What no graphics? You're locked in a BBC broom cupboard for 24 hours as a kid. Would you rather be stuck with Andy Peters and Ed the Duck or Philip Schofield and Gordon the Gopher?
And Andy Peters.
I'll go Philip Schofield and the Gopher because at least we can get past the queues quickly. John Robson says, Suj, are you going to teach your kids about business and I can't even say that word, entrepreneurship by encouraging them to start babysitting for young Harry, win-win situation for all?
I would not trust them to babysit Harry. No, they'd be all right, actually. They're quite good with other kids. Am I going to teach them about
child
business?
would terrorise them.
Boys just have a lot of energy. Well, yeah, the little one's got interest in making money and work. The older one hasn't. So
He won't go to sleep without a car at the moment.
okay, a toy car.
Yeah, I took a car out of his hand last night, and honestly, you know when they do that fake crying and shit, he just was inconsolable.
I bet
As
he
in
gets
nothing. His face just contorted, like I'd stolen his world. I'd taken his dinner. I took a toy car out of his hand. So obviously, I give it back to him when he went to sleep.
I bet he gets his driving license before you.
Yeah, that's a certainty, mate. Asil said there's more chance of him winning a F1 Grand Prix than me getting a driving license, I think. Asil Salem says, interested to know which software to use for these live streams. The software is a platform called OBS. And Singular Live as on the graphic with Captain's name. But it's through OBS, and I think the graphics is Singular Live, which is on the screen. And that's maybe lose YouTube. Daniel Pedersen says, have you guys ever seen 70-year-old Makuko at Dortmund play? If so, do you rate him to be world-class like I do? No is the answer.
17-year-old as opposed to 70-year-old.
We spoke about him. We do UCL fantasy pods, and we spoke about him last week for that because he's only like 4.9 in UCL fantasy. And I know he scored against Dortmund the other week, and I know he's in serious contention to be in the Germany squad. Have I seen him properly, Daniel? The honest answer is no, mate. Maito says, hi guys, what sort of music you into? Ankara Messi.
I listen to all sorts. I listen to AC/DC, I listen to rap, I listen to garage from the 90s.
Yeah, mate, I could,
loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Loads of stuff.
I could be like listening to Slipknot 1 minute and Celine Dion the next. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Patrick Lawson, would you rather travel everywhere on a penny farthing bicycle or a private jet?
Private jet?
Maybe he's asking us, we got to be politically correct here and think about all the pollution
That's not what, that wasn't in the question.
All right. Yeah. Private jet? Yeah. I guess the thinking is like you can't go to the shops in the jet, right?
Oh,
I suppose that's the thinking, isn't it?
You can.
You can't.
You can.
You can't cross the road in a jet.
Yeah,
I suppose that's what the thinking is.
Watch Spurs away on a fucking penny farthing, can you? When you get
that's it. I've got to get the Spurs, and I so
Azerbaijan or somewhere.
Private jet. West at London games, so just park it in Alexandra Palace or something. Joe says, "Where's our Salah shot tier in Sky?" That's up to Opta, unfortunately, Joe.
Is this all about the one that got tipped around the post?
Yeah. Yes, it was on target, but Opta didn't give it, so that's an Opta issue. Sky will follow it. They can't make precedents because loads of people got Salah. Because then what about the other time? And, Murray Roach says, Canada at the World Cup. 1, can we score a goal? Definitely. 2, is escaping the group with Belgium, Croatia and Morocco possible? The person who will answer that is one of our patrons, Paul Meehan, and I intend to ask him properly within the next month. I would say, in all honesty, it's going to be very, very difficult, but why not? Rob Pick says, Van der Vaart or Eriksson? Rafael Van der Vaart. There's also the bit here where Ericsson, as far as I know, has never hit a woman. It's a good reason to say Ericsson in himself. Rafa just got what it meant to play for Spurs. So I think, in a weird way, although Ericsson was there longer, it was more of a connection, and it ended a bit cold with Christian. But then there's loads of love for him because of what happened and stuff as well, with obviously the Denmark incident at the Euros. But in terms of abilities, that has to be Christian. Has to be Christian Eriksen. Cannon Fodder, Premier League on Amazon Prime this week. Best platform to watch Premier League by far. Cannon Fodder says, petrol is the best smell. Don't care if it's bad for me. I think you're sharing a bit too much information here, mate.
Oh, mate.
Justin Dice says, James, £10 bet on United Spurs match. I know this is a long shot. Lol. What's the bet, mate? Immortal Tretnik
No, I
says...
think he wants you to tell him the bet to put on.
Oh, save your money, mate. No, it's too difficult.
Yeah.
It's such a tough call. That's why I bottled it and gone 1-1. Whenever I go 1-1, that's basically me saying I don't know. Immortal Tretnik says...
Brighton.
Unless it's Brighton and we just do it because for sake. Best noise is the sound your cash machine makes while it's counting out your money. Who uses cash machines these days? QG123. What was the happiest day of your lives?
Uh,
Come on, about 5 people have already put Amsterdam in the chat now.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I just don't know if Katie's going to be watching.
I don't give a fuck if she is, mate.
It'd have to be birth of a kid, clearly, obviously.
Can I say, and I have a really good excuse why I can say Amsterdam as well. My child was born at 5 to midnight. The day he was born was 23 hours and 55 minutes of not a lot of fun.
Yeah. My son was born the night that Spain won. What did they win in 2012? Euros. Yeah. So I watched that game on the iPad in the hospital. Mrs. was just lying in bed, and it was about 1 or 2 in the morning.
I've got one of my favourite ever
Torres
pictures
goal.
of my wife from that night.
Nice.
We were sitting in a bar in Portugal, and I took a picture. She thought I was taking a picture of her, but actually I was just watching the final in the background through my phone. She's like in the corner of the photo. Neil Grover says, hey chap, just came to wish everyone a good game week in Green Arrow Zone. Big up the Solanke train once more. I don't know why I keep calling him the boy. Dominic Solanke, the boy. FPL Andy says, would you rather win Sky but finish outside the top 3 million FPL or get a top 100 FPL? Mate, what do I get for my 100 finish in FPL? Oh, look at me. I got a top 100 finish. Or I finished first in Sky and get 50 grand. Yes. It's like literally no brainer. Keith Rowley says, your 2 clean sheets last week end up at 10. That's a lot of variance. Lol. That's so true. Andrew Gronin says, did Opta not give the Salah shot as a target because the officials missed the save and gave a goal kick? I don't know. You'd have to ask Opta. And it's very difficult to find Opta stats unless you physically pay someone a lot of money for them. Justin Dice says, no, I want to bet you £10 on the match. I'm a United supporter. Nah, keep your money, mate. I'm not stupid. That's it, I think.
Nice.
Cheers, guys. Brilliant. We'll be back tomorrow with the Sky podcast.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, mate.
Nice.
Other than that, smash a like on the way out. Hit the sub button. And Deadline stream Saturday morning is 10 a.m. Lots of love, guys. Good luck for the game week. Ciao for now.